Hey, what is going on, everybody? How are you all doing today? I hope you all are having a wonderful and fantastic day today, and if not, hopefully you all will have a better tomorrow. So, today I wanted to have a very interesting discussion, and it's actually going to be about Cinder, and I actually wanted to talk about how I believe that her character is misunderstood. So, I wanted to just kind of jump into a big discussion about this, and just kind of talk about this for a little bit. So sit back, relax. I hope you all enjoy, and let's go ahead and jump right on into this discussion. So, now, one thing about it is Cinder's character, either you like her or you don't like her. There are a lot of things that go with Cinder's character. A lot of people think that she is a bad and evil character. A lot of people depict her as a very different character than that. And what I want to try to talk about today is, why Cinder's character is misunderstood. And a lot of people just jump the gun to her character. So, I'm going to be here to explain to you why she's actually misunderstood. And what you have to understand is that when looking at Cinder's character, she's a little more complex than you would think. It's not like she's this sociopath everybody leads her on to be, because that's certainly something that she's not. What you have to understand about Cinder's character is she is somebody who opposes Ozpin. She clearly does, but she has her own reasons as for this. Obviously, she's talked about wanting power, and there's a reason for this as well. There are several reasons as to why Cinder feels the way she feels about things. Her personality. There are several reasons as to why these things are. And of course, with as little of a backstory we have, other than, if we look at the backstory in Volume 3 as to how she attained the power of the Maiden, and even going to the song Sacrifice, there is so much that we have on her right now when it comes to backstory. But when we look at Cinder's character, think about this: when we look at everything that's been presented before us thus far, the thing of it is, there has at least been enough to allow us to understand her a lot better. Sacrifice is a great deal of helping us understand her character. Looking at how she has presented herself through the series actually gives us more insight to her. And, if you think about her as well as the other antagonists, they seem to actually have valid reasons as to opposing Ozpin. It's not just that, oh man, I'm angry with this guy, or oh, the whole natural syndrome of I want to rule the world, or take over the world, or destroy humanity. Now, other than these natural villain syndromes, you can't really look at these antagonists as, per se, villains, because the thing is, these antagonist characters, they don't really feel like villains, and they actually have logical reasons to opposing Ozpin. And, the thing is, we have to look at Cinder. Now, Cinder herself, a lot of things with her character. One thing about her character, which I want to start off by saying, is the reason why she gets infuriated easily and has a bit of a temper is she is a perfectionist. So when things don't go right for Cinder, even if they're in the slightest bit wrong, because they have to go perfectly for her. If they don't, she gets upset by this. Now, that's like when she had her plans, within volumes, 2 and 3, whenever one thing derailed, she was actually pretty upset about it. And another thing you have to look at here is when Tuxin, whenever he died, when Tuxin died, she was not happy about Mercury killing him. She even said, for them not to get their hands dirty. And this proves that when it comes down to it, there is one failure in her plan. It was never a part of the plan to kill Tuxin. So that's something that's interesting to actually look at when it comes to Cinder's character. And another thing you have to understand about Cinder is once things have been planned out by Cinder, they have to go according to plan, because people that are perfectionists, their plans have to go according to plan. This is not just Cinder, this is anybody in general, because perfectionists, they like to have the best plan, the best idea, and once they see it through, it has to go according to plan. If one little thing goes out of place, then it bothers them. And this shows why Cinder gets bothered within certain areas. And a lot of people say that Cinder doesn't seem to care about individuals. Some people even say that Cinder is a heartless person. That's not true at all by any means. As a matter of fact, if you actually think about it, if Cinder was this cruel and terrible individual that people make her out to be, then why did she do one thing that would make you think otherwise about this? So, let me propose this question. Why would you think that Cinder is a terrible individual when she took in Mercury and Emerald? Now, if you actually think about that, she didn't have to take them in at all. She could have just sat there and gone, oh, two little brats that I don't need, bye. she could have just not cared about them, never took them in at all. And she even states that they're her disciples, meaning that they follow her. She teaches them, they train under her. This shows that she has respect for them. And, when you actually think about this, it seems that the respect is mutual because Emerald definitely seemed to have respect for Cinder. Emerald even makes a statement saying that, in Volume 5, Cinder, she's working with her because Cinder, because of her, gave her everything. And, when you think about it, Cinder has given Emerald and Mercury a chance at life that nobody else could present to them because they probably didn't want to. And if you look at the song I'm the One, Emerald's part even states that she rose out of filth and was loved by no one. A statement such as this means that nobody cares about you and nobody's going to, give you a chance. That's basically what that line states there. But Cinder is the one who gave her this opportunity at life. She is the one, as Emerald stated, who gave her everything. Therefore, meaning gave her a chance to know what it's like to be cared about, to have something, to have a life, to have an opportunity. And to show that Cinder cared, that means that yes, she did care. It doesn't mean that she's a heartless person. And the way Emerald responded to hearing that Cinder did not come back and seeing that Yang had the relic and that Cinder was not coming back, obviously she was depressed by this. She was completely down. You saw how she reacted to that. It showed that there was a sense of concern. It showed that she actually cared. It's not like she sat over here and goes, "Oh, bye, Cinder, see ya." No, she actually cared. It shows that there was a bond between the two of them. It's not like Cinder was a ruthless individual. It shows that she did care for Emerald and Mercury. I mean, yes, we see this more so on Emerald's behalf than Mercury's, but we see this reaction, therefore meaning that there was a bond, that there was a connection between the two characters. Because if Cinder was a terrible person that people make her out to be, then Emerald would not have cared and would have thought, "Oh, thank God, I'm free." But clearly, that's not the case here, and a lot of people don't seem to understand this. Not only this, but this also proves that Cinder does care about human life, and a lot of people think that she's this ruthless sociopath. And the thing that you have to keep in mind here that actually kind of goes against that is when Raven, whenever they go to her camp, and Raven makes the statement, "Oh, hey, you know what? I'll join up with you if you kill my brother." If you look at the way that Cinder responds to this, it is certainly not a reaction of, "Oh, okay, yeah, let's take care of this job." No, the thing that made her take this idea was the fact that she could get revenge on Ruby. And this is why Watts opposes this idea, which I'll get to the revenge on Ruby part in a moment. But this is why Watts states that, he's not going to let, that, take control of the whole entire objective. And of course, Cinder, obviously opposes Watts on this. But this shows that she didn't want to really kill anybody in this situation. Her main objective here is to basically just take the relic. And of course, if you look at Volume 4, when Tyrion's actually going insane and killing the Grimm, of course, yeah, she was training and fighting Grimm herself, but whenever he is just going nuts and just crazy on that Grimm, you see that look on her face like she is concerned. And I mean, this shows that she, even though Grimm have their own life, even though they're Grimm, but, this shows that Cinder seems to be, sympathetic. It shows that there is sympathy from her. And, of course, when you look at this, which we're going to lead on to this point next, is looking at the whole thing as to why she actually tries to out Ozpin. Now, she defies Ozpin because she completely disagrees with what he stands for. And when you look at this, this is exactly why she outed the academies. This is exactly why she outed Ozpin, because she disagrees with the way everything is set up, with the way everything works in the world. She disagrees with the Hunter program, obviously. And, of course, this, as well as the song Sacrifice, implies that Cinder herself was a part of the Hunter program at one time, or was even a huntress. And of course, by seeing how the ways of Ozpin, how they were and what he stood for, she completely and entirely disagreed with this. And I'm going to get to Ozpin and that whole bit in just a moment, but what I want to focus on now is actually RWBY. Now, of course, a lot of people look at this as her point of view of being a sociopath as well. Now, why do people look at it like this? Well, Volume 4 at the very end, when we see Cinder in the finale, obviously burning a image created by Emerald of Ruby alive. Now, what you have to understand when you see this is basically Cinder still at rage and embarrassed over what happened at the tower whenever they were on Beacon Tower at the very end after Pyrrha had just died, and then you see Ruby's Silver Eyes activate. This shows that she wants revenge on Ruby, but this does not mean that she hates people or humanity and that she wants to destroy everyone. This has no meaning to that whatsoever. This is just the vendetta between her and Ruby, which obviously leads to future plot points that could be revealed later on that could work between the two of them being conflicting to one another. Because you have to remember, Cinder herself is a foil to Ruby's character. That is one of the points of her character, that she is Ruby's foil, and this could lead on to a future plot between the two of them. And another thing I want us to look at when it comes to Cinder's character is this, is that she is an insecure character. Now, that sounds very odd, saying that she is insecure, but she definitely is insecure. Now, a lot of people take it into, a different context than what it means when she states, I want power, I want to be strong, I want to be feared. A lot of people take that statement out of context. Now, this doesn't mean that she wants to sit over here and, completely just be the worst individual ever and be like a tyrannical dictator, for example. This actually is something that she's stating because she wants respect. It is power that she wants because she believes that that is the way to respect. Because if you look at her allies, after the fall of Beacon, what did they do? They made fun of her and insulted her for saying, "Oh, you lost to a silver-eyed girl," when everybody else said that they could take on, the silver-eyed warriors because they said they knew how to handle them. And because of this, obviously, you see Cinder get infuriated and upset over this. It proves that she has an inferiority complex. Now, this may sound a bit odd, but, it actually could fall into her character when it comes to her backstory. So that could actually fall in line with something like that. But now, the Ozpin situation. Now, this is another thing we need to look at, is the Ozpin situation. Obviously, Cinder, as we know, she is against Ozpin. She is against what he believes in. And looking at the song Sacrifice, I know I sound like a broken record when saying this, but looking at the song, this gives us the exact reasoning why Cinder is against Ozpin. It gives us her opinion, her point of view of why she is against Ozpin and why she sees what he is doing or what he believes in is wrong. And I mean, you have to look at these lyrics because they tell you a bit of her story. One big key to this is the part where it says, "You can't have my life, I'm not your sacrifice. You can try, but I'm free, and you won't conquer me. I won't crawl, most of all, I won't fall for you," is basically showing her defiance of Ozpin. It is basically stating that your cause is not what I'm going to fall for, and I'm not going to die in vain for what you believe in. And it shows that she is not going to be a pawn of Ozpin's game. That's exactly why she opposes him. It's not because of some evil tyranny. It's not because of some, I want to destroy humanity. And a lot of people really think because of her motives, or at least what they think her motives are, they think that she's a sociopath or psychotic or just evil in general, and that she just hates humanity. And that's not the case at all. And of course, people tend to put her in the evil villain category because they just see her as somebody that is, well, like I said, just a monster. That's basically, I guess, the best way I can put it. And realistically, she opposes Ozpin for her own reasons. She has her own reasoning. It's not like she's just, like I said, being an evil person. She actually has reasons. And the more we look into the series, the more the series goes on, the more we're starting to see Ozpin is not who he seems to be at all. And, the more he is raising suspicion and doubt, the more that he is lying, and his lies are starting to be revealed. I mean, this is actually something that you're starting to see throughout the continuation of the series. I mean, it's starting to become more and more obvious that Ozpin is clearly not who he seems to be. And another thing that we need to look at here is I want to talk about the Raven situation. I want to talk about Cinder and Raven and that whole thing. And the one thing I got to bring up here is that, everybody says, oh man, this goes upon Cinder just being a power-hungry individual. And that's why she killed Bernal, because she thought that she was the Spring Maiden, because Raven obviously tricked her purposely. And, that's the thing, yet again. Cinder knew that Raven was going to betray her because she started to feel that there was betrayal, and everybody just comes to the conclusion that Cinder is power hungry and that she wants to just steal the powers, and that's about it. But realistically, if you look at it, Raven has been sketchy ever since she decided to join Cinder anyways. She'd been sketchy the whole time. Obviously, she wasn't going to stick with Cinder, and that's completely, clear that you can see there was never a moment that Raven was going to stay with Cinder. There was never a moment she's going to stay on her side to make this happen, and that she was just going to take the relic for herself instead of give it to Cinder. She was going to just double cross her and make a getaway with it. And we know that. And Cinder obviously saw this coming, so this is why she actually attacked Vernal, because yes, she was fooled by Raven's trick, but realistically, this is why she actually attacks and kills Vernal, is because she believed that Vernal was the Spring Maiden. And, if she were to get the relic, then she would have to get the powers at this point, because obviously Raven was no longer going to cooperate with her, and that is exactly why she did what she did. But people don't seem to see it this way either. People seem to see it as, oh, she's nothing more than driven by power, and she's power hungry, and that she doesn't want anything else but power and nothing more than that. And obviously that's not the case here. It's because she knew that Raven was not acting right, and that Raven definitely wasn't cooperating in the right way. And you have to look at Salem for a minute, because we have to bring her up for the situation. Salem clearly only needed the relic. She was never going to kill Raven. She was never going to kill the bandits. And as long as they had cooperated, and as long as Raven had just listened to Cinder on that one, everything would have been fine. This whole fight wouldn't have ever happened, and the relic could have been taken by Cinder in peace, and then the next thing you know, Raven could have just left to be in peace as well, and there wouldn't be this big issue between them. And that's the thing, is because Raven was scared. She was terrified that Salem would kill her when she doesn't really understand or comprehend what she's going up against in the situation, because she thinks that she knows how Salem is, when in reality she doesn't really know it. She just fears something she doesn't understand. And obviously, that's another thing that's a big issue, is that Raven just didn't understand what was going on, and Salem and Cinder would have just left her alone once they got what they wanted. But a lot of people seem to look at these characters, Cinder mostly, and they also look at Salem as if they are bad characters. They are evil characters, and you have to understand that they are not really as bad as people make them out to be. They really aren't, because they have their own motives for doing what they're doing, and it's not, a destroy the world situation. It is not like that. They actually have their reasons for fighting Ozpin, but a lot of people don't seem to see it that way. And what you have to understand is there are more to these characters than just looking like they may be potential villains. It's the fact that you have to look at them and what they really believe in. And Cinder herself obviously believes in the right thing, at least from what it seems like on her behalf. It seems that, in her eyes, that what she believes in going against Ozpin in this way is that she is right, and with more time, it seems like she could actually be correct on this. But let me know what you think down below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know in the comments down below. But anyways, thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and if you did enjoy, hit this video with a like, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and share this with your friends if you found this informative or useful. Well, anyways, I hope you all have yourselves a wonderful day, and remember, if today was not a good day, tomorrow can always be better. Take care of yourselves, and I hope you all have yourselves a wonderful day.